So today we got a Cat 320, just not matching grade out here, and they're doing stream restoration, so their control points are actually around that stream, and I'm gonna have to just track down there a little bit and get a little better grade. I don't know if it'll read properly up here. I'm not within any control points, so it doesn't look like they changed their teeth around. Have to see what's going on with it. This is the keyless. Okay. Whew, that's bright. Alright, let's take a peek here real quick and see. Most likely have to update them on the firmware. I know that sun. Sorry. There, I'm trying to block it a little bit. It's bright. Beautiful country out here, though. Somewhere in North Carolina. Monroe area, I think it is. Kind of east of Charlotte. And he says his bass is on. Well, there it goes. Okay. Well, that took a minute, didn't it? Well, that's interesting looking. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen that configuration before. Let's see what he's got here. Okay, he's using 3. And let's see here. We just want main window, plan, section, profile, plan.
That big white truck is some material for us, so if you don't mind, can you pull your truck up?
Yep, certainly.
Thank you.
Gotta move my truck. Well, alright. So we went green, out of design area. I want to get into the design area just so I can get a little better idea of where this thing is at. So we need firmware for main. I suspect we need firmware for auxiliary too. Yep. And let's take a look at 3DMC. Oh yeah, need to update that as well. Yeah, that is odd. That is odd the way that's on the screen like that. It's interesting. I've never seen that. There's nothing on the left or right windows. Let's see what the lower, okay, lower has, alright, there we go. That's why. Because the lower had the profile on it. That's interesting. Alright. Well, everything looks good. Let's take it for a test spin. Yeah, so a truck rolls up and, you know, they have no way to unload, so I'm kind of on standby here while they unload that entire truck. Not to mention, my level was on the track. I was getting ready to work, and the operator jumps in and starts rushing it over to the truck, and ran over a nice level. Okay, let's check this thing out. I'm gonna check the left tooth there, and then I'll check the right. Let's see what it says. Just turned it around, get out of the sun a little bit. Left tooth, there we go. 63184. let's see how far off we are. 63184. 63158. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's off quite a lot. Alright, so what I'm going to do is create a benchmark for myself with their rover right out there, and I'm just going to shoot off that benchmark. Just go through, remeasure, possibly recalibrate some things. Not sure what's out yet, but we'll figure it out. Oh good lord, they gotta unload that thing by hand. That whole entire truck. And that's how you create your own little benchmark. X marks the spot. Well, I'll just tap that down a little bit and then shoot it with the rover. And then we can use that as a reference point while we tie this machine in. Alright, if you're going to use someone else's equipment, make sure it is true. It's off a little bit. That bubble is off just a little bit. Alright. And don't forget to measure and make sure they're using the right height for their antenna. And then shoot point. Let's see what it says. Try to get out of the sun. That sun is something else this morning. That's my point. Alright, 63178 right there. We've got our north, we've got our east. Everything we need to set this machine up. Now, we use the teeth, right and left, put it on our benchmark and see, horizontal and vertical, we'll see which one matches the best, and we'll be able to determine from there pretty much where it's out. Alright, and we got our benchmark, and we have our left and right. Let's go ahead and shoot the right. And jot that information down right here. We got 189.71, 123.76, 631.87. Alright, so let's see. We're 3/10 off north, 3/10 off east, and 2/10 off elevation. And I'll actually go through and I'll do the math exactly, and I'll put that over here so we can see exactly how much play we have. Now let's put the left on and try that. If you can see, the left tooth doesn't come down all the way on it. So we'll take a middle shot as well, and then we'll just take a happy median for these teeth. I'm close enough. Alright, so 189.50, 123.66, 631.88. It's consistent, at least across the right and the left. Not on east. Well, I guess it is, yeah, because we moved over. It's closer on the left side than it is on the right side. Okay, let's do the math on this real quick. Oh, actually, let's do the middle. We got to put the middle in there because of the worn out teeth. And just shoot middle. Alright, we got, let's see, 189.73, 123.78, 631.93. And there's quite a difference on elevation. 4/10 on east, 3/10 on north. Alright, yeah. Definitely needs remeasure and calibration for sure. Let me do the math on these, and I'll show you what I found. Alright, here's what we got. So this is our benchmark right here, that little X in the middle. And if we put our left on it, basically what that's saying is we are 300ths this way to the north. I'm facing west, so we're 300ths off of that, so the bucket is skewed over here. In east we are 0.29 this way, so this is what controls all of that. And elevation, of course, is the main as well. Now north on the right, if we put the right tooth on that, it says we are 0.24 this way, so everything is going this way. 0.2 that way, 0.3 this way, so that's skewed. Same thing with the middle, 0.2 that way, 0.4 that way. So we need to take a look at the measurements of the antennas. Yep, and elevation as well. So somewhere in here, and I'm guessing somebody played, oh, look at that, 2 different files. Why would that be? Let's look at one thing. So there's our orientation. If we face this vehicle west, north would be this way. We could adjust 1 for north. We can adjust 2 for east, okay? That's how that works. So these 2 numbers here, if we needed to adjust that way. But this is the one I'm interested in, the 480 for elevation. Did they play with that? Let's go in and look at this other one. See, that one's at 492. Not sure why they have 2 files. Let's try this one and see what happens. See if we're actually closer. A lot of times that happens. People will have 2 files, 3 files, 4 files, and they'll select a bad one. They may have done some changes on it. Let's take a center shot real quick. Whoops. And just see where we're at. There we go. Alright, so our benchmark is 63178, 63201. We're closer on north. We're off on east. So this is probably why somebody built a new file for it. Not sure why they built a new file for it, but they did. So we will we'll update this newest one. We'll have to go and take some measurements, take measurements of those antennas. We'll retake the measurements of the dog bone and the bucket. We'll assume right now that the stick and the boom are level. We'll be able to tell here after we put those measurements in and recheck. Because if the boom is out, if the boom is not level, if it's out just a little bit here and there, you'll be able to tell. If the stick is out from its -90, you'll be able to tell. So, alright, let's reshoot some measurements real quick. So I've lined that grade stick up across the left tooth and the right tooth, and you can see that's quite a difference from the center. 800ths difference from these two. Most people dig with their left or their right when they're picking at things, right? So what I do is I just go straight across like that, and because I have to measure down from that pin right there, I'm going to measure to that spot right there. Markers don't work in the mud. I'm going to measure to that spot right there, That way we can get a good measurement on the right and the left. Every time they stick their tooth down and check either right or left, they're going to get this measurement. Alright, we got some new measurements, so let's go in the system, take a peek. Yeah, that's the one we're going to edit. February 10th, 2021. Alright, so let's see what the difference is here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, so both of those, I got 7.93 on both. And on main I got 161. That's almost a tenth. And then 1.13, which I got, which is good. Okay, so those three were off. Now these, for both I got 4.73, and those are a little high. 4.73. Oh, I forgot to measure the pin. Let me go do that. Yeah, there's a big one right there. So I got, that's 5.83 up to center of pin. I got 5.55. This we're gonna leave. This we're gonna leave. This we're gonna change. Let's see, I got, for number 1, I got 2.085. That's good. Number 2, I got 1.925, that's good. Number 3, got 1.59, that's good. Number 4, got 1.39. They got 1.33. That's a difference of 600s. Let me go out and remeasure that one, just so I know for sure. Yep, I got 1.33. Okay, so I don't know why I wrote down 1.39. 1.33 is good. Alright, so next, let's do the bucket. We'll edit that. Alright, so for, oh man, I never took the width. Good grief. Be right back again. Alright, I got 4.10 exactly, so that's 600's difference. And I got 5.11. That's 4.70. Let me go out and remeasure that just to be sure, because that's quite a difference. Yep, I got 5.11. That's 4.70, so that's quite a difference right there in the length. That's going to give you definitely vertical and horizontal difference for sure. That's the main problem right there. Not to mention the GPS antennas were out given the north and east off. And that should be it. That should be it. If these sensors need to be calibrated, we will go through and calibrate. And we're okay on that one. We'll let this burn through, and then I'll retest on my benchmark. So now I can touch my right and left tips, because remember I drew that imaginary line across the center. The middle teeth are going to be 800ths longer than the right and the left, which is fine. Again, most of the time we have to check right and left. That's just the way, just makes sense. That's the only way really to do it. You check it in the middle, it's a reference pretty much. That's it. So once this goes green, we'll put those, oh, there we go. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get that bucket on that benchmark down there. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. Okay. good right there. All right, let's, really? Come on. There you go. All right, let's position check right. I noticed this system bleeds, so I had to reshoot that benchmark because it did squash it down a little bit. 400s, it squashed it down. So let's measure. All right, so 63159, and I'm at 63174. All right. Now this is the elevation, that's just a matter of adjusting. Let's see what our north is. 189.45. That's off by almost 5/10 now. 123.71. That's off by 4/10. All right, we definitely have an issue with either the boom or the stick, or the bucket calibration. Some calibration is not good. I'm going to check this flat real quick and see what is closer. Alright, we are flat on the right. Let's reshoot. 63177. Let me just jot that down. 631.77. Let's take a look at that north and east. Still out. Still out. Alright, I'm going to go back horizontal or vertical and check it. And 63151. So we're out 2/10 like that. And 4/10 consistently north and east. So yeah, we're going to have to recalibrate the whole machine. Alright, sounds good. I'll pull out all this tools and equipment. If you go through and do those simple measurements like I just did and it doesn't correct the problem, yeah, you're gonna have to go through and recalibrate everything because something's out for sure. Could just be in the bucket, could be in the stick, could be in the boom. You just don't know. It could be in the body. You just don't know until you recalibrate everything. So let's do that. Got to utilize what you can with your laser to get that pin. And you got to set that boom pin to that pin. So if you go to the boom in your machine file, pitch 0.0, that would be pitch. Get that to 0.0, shoot that first pin, and then go out and check and make sure it's still on a 0.0. Check that now, right here. That pin is about 300s high. So we'll just knock it down, bump it down a little bit. We'll go to 1. It's right there, just where it's kind of floppy. And we'll see. And that is 0 right there. So you see how it's flopping a little bit? It's just off just a tiny little hair. Reset it. Make sure it sticks. Wow, it's got a 20-degree offset. Yeah, you see how they put the sensor on? The sensor wasn't put on. When you put those boom sensors on, you shoot from pin to pin. Basically, I take my level and I go from pin to pin and I get the angle, the degree, and that's how I put my boom sensor up there to meet the angle from pin to pin. That one was just thrown up there and it hit the max. That's about as far as you can go as far as offset of that sensor. Interesting. I've never seen anybody do that before. That's a no-no. Alright, okay on that one. Let's get, we'll do the stick. I got my instrument set up there, so. Alright, so same thing with the body. Go to stick. That pitch should be -90. Got to figure out which way you got to go with it. Get that at -90, shoot it, and make sure. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'll shoot that and we'll make sure that is 90. That is not a -90. The stick actually hangs out this way a little bit more. See if you can see in there. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see the crosshair. There it is. Do you see it? It's not on it. Alright, so we will set that correctly. Now that is centered. I know it's hard to see. That is centered. That is -90. The other one was not. Okay. Yeah, see, we're off 0.4. Reset that. Alright. Now the big one, I suspect, is this one right here. So, this one's always fun to try to do yourself, because you got to get 90° between the bucket pin, the pin above it, and then the dog bone, the end of the dog bone. You got to get that 90°, so 3 points you got to match. What you don't see is how many times I got to jump in and out of that piece of equipment. Yeah, I moved it a little bit too far. What I'm lining up, this pin here and that pin right there, getting that lined up that way, then all I have to do is shoot that, just move the bucket, and I can shoot that and make that 90. Woo, getting closer. All right, 8 times of going back and forth, and it is good. Now, just need to get the bucket. So I'll shoot up to that top second pin and then shoot over and create the. And for the dog bone, all you need to do is get that to 0.0, go out and check. Once you've lined up those 2 lower pins, get that one to 0.0, and that should be the 90. It's a little high. There we go, perfect 90. Let's see what it says. Well, that one was off 0.2 degrees. Okay, that's set. Now, we'll go into our bucket and we'll do these calibrations here. This one you just pretty much just need to that lower pin down to the tip of the teeth, shoot it, and calibrate. Alright, we got that position calibrated. Next, just level out your bucket. Put a level to it, and calibrate. You're leveling this way. Alright, we're going to call that 0, calibrate. There we go. Finished, finished, next, next. And okay. And once we pick up satellites, I'll check vertical and horizontal again and see if we corrected the issue. Pattern control, that's interesting. To get the boom measurement, use a tape measure from pin to pin. I just use magnets when I'm by myself. It's always fun. And our boom, pin to pin, is 18.56. Let's see what it is. 18.69. The stick was off too by 800s. Okay, so there was a few things going on with this machine. Boom length was wrong, and it was off just a little bit. Stick length was wrong. That was off a little bit. The bucket was off. The bucket measurement was off. The dog bone measurements were good. That was about the only thing. Alright, now let's test this thing again. I tested it before after I did the calibration. It was still consistently 0.2 off between horizontal and vertical. So that tells you keep looking. Alright, let's check. .630.04. $629.95. Alright, still off a little bit. See if I can get a better spot. The problem is those teeth move. Those teeth move. So it's hard to get it perfect. 630.06. $629.95. Okay, so yeah, we're still off a 1/10. Huh, interesting. Where could that 1/10 be? Oh, I've been sitting here for a while, waiting. 15 out of 15 on main. $13 out of 17 on auxiliary. And still not going. Oh, good grief. Come on. Why is it doing that? We're gonna have to restart it. Still waiting on connection. It's been over 15 minutes and their base is way down that way. I think it either needs to be factory reset or maybe it came off power. I don't know. While I'm waiting for them to update their firmware. Yeah, not sure if I'm going to be able to finish this one. They're having issues with their base. Had them factory reset it and still nothing will initialize, so who knows. So I'm just loading firmware in 3DMC. Here comes somebody probably with a bunch of questions. What's wrong with the base? I don't know. Alright, I just switched radios to network so I can keep working. That's the handy thing about having modems and you know, being able to use the network, so we can still work here even though their base is out. Alright, well, we finally got that 320 cat at least semi-correct, vertical and horizontal. It's still roughly between 3 and 600s difference. That's about as close as I can get it. There's something fishy going on with that one. I've calibrated 3 times. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know if it's the model or what, but we lost base about an hour ago and still haven't had anything. Had to go to network. They plowed. You see where all the logs are. That's where I had my my benchmark in the ground. So they moved my benchmark. So I have to charge up my network rover in order to create another benchmark and check it, because can't do anything here. Their rover's not working, their base isn't working. Gotta love it.